Intra-African Trade Fair, the African continent's premier biannual trade and investment event, and provides a unique opportunity for exhibitors to showcase their goods and services, engage in business-to-business and business-to-government exchanges, network, establish new business contacts, and conclude business deals. IATF serves as the marketplace for African Continental Free Trade Area, supporting its implementation. To bring us updates from the trade fair and joining us on the show from Algeria is Arise correspondents Boason, Omofaye and Seyitan Atigarin. Good morning to you both, and good to see you in Algeria, looking very nice, sunny, and ready to go for IATF. Seyitan.
Good morning, Ayo. It's good to see you. You're going to have to permit the height difference here. You know, Boason is basically towering over me after this point.
It's a height disadvantage. You don't understand the height disadvantage until you get into an economy class in a cabin in an aircraft. Then you understand that Seyitan has an advantage more than I do.
I love it. Well, thank you so much to you both. Seyitan, let me start with you. What should viewers expect from this year's IATF? Any headline initiatives, new partnerships, opportunities we should be watching out for?
Of course, thank you, Aya, for that question. As you can see, we are at the CIC Center here in Algiers, Algeria. We still have people trooping in for the opening ceremony, which is going to be kicking off shortly. And today is the Presidential Summit Day, where the presidential table on making the AFCFTA, of course, work for the African continent is going to be a point of conversation. It's going to be seen from the perspectives of, heads of state and the government. And they'll also later around 4:30 p.m. be going to the fairground to inaugurate it. Tomorrow, there will also be the ministerial dialogue around the same AFCFTA implementation, the journey so far, the road ahead, as well as a panel session that is going to be focused on positioning African exporters at the forefront of global trade and realizing the opportunities for sustainable growth. We'll also be seeing the launch of the African Trade and Distribution Company, as well as the AFCFTA Adjustment Fund, and initiatives and programs that are going to support the Intra-Africa Trade Fair and industrialization. At this point, we're looking at the theme being the gateway to economic growth. So I can imagine that the focus for this year and for most of the panel sessions will be around this theme, as it were.
Okay, very good. Boason, well, this year marks the 4th edition of the IATF Trade Fair. Has it been impactful on the African continent? What's your assessment? And to your point about height advantage, size advantage, well, not if you are traveling business class or first class. I imagined you traveled economic class. That's what you were talking about, advantage. If you were in business class,
I talk about economy, doctor.
Huh?
You know how they said, is the economy stupid, as the saying goes. I'm sure you know that, doctor. Is the economy stupid?
Next time, travel business class.
with the economy. I think it is. I got to be a businessman. If there's a trade class, that class is where I want to trade. but seriously speaking, folks, I think we've done 4 years, and I had the privilege of being there back in Durban 8 years ago when it all started. And it was a very big outing. Remember, the second outing in South Africa, the late Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari was in attendance. We interviewed him briefly at that particular event. So, and again, so if you look at the last 8 years, it has helped us to have a focused direction or horizon, as it were, when it comes to intra-Africa trade. And I think the whole intra-Africa trade and the AFCFTA do come together very nicely under the umbrella of the Afrexim And that is what it has been able to do. I think it has also helped the Afrexim Bank to actually find that platform to support small and medium enterprises, deep pocket industrialists such as the Dangote refinery, for example, and a number of other African countries that want to do massive industrial trade facilitation. A deal has been done with UBA, for example, in double-digit of billions of dollars to support small-scale lending. The IATF is also supporting factoring. Now, let me speak to some of what you've seen. over the last few years. You've seen countries around Africa, countries such as Morocco, for example, ramping up on automotive and aircraft servicing and making on the continent. Uganda is also making some big inroads. Now, one of the organizations that's been onboarded by the IATF over the past 4 years was the Arise Integrated Industrialization Company. That agency has been going around the continent. They were in Lagos about a year or so ago to do a bespoke roadshow event to catalyze special economic zones as you have in Egypt and you have in a few other African countries as well. Now, we've also seen quite a number of developments within the last 8 years in which the African Union, which you can be called the sleeping giant over the last decade since the OAU days, been able to come up very strongly to support the umbrella of the Afrexim Bank as that development finance institution in terms of trade to scale up in terms of lending to private sector and to governments across the continent. Back to you, Doctor.
Right. So CANEX has been described as the digital gateway for transforming creative economy in Africa, built on the pillars of create, learn, and earn. This year, the platform practically empowering creatives to move from ideas to commercialization. How will this work? What will be the modus operandi? What are the things we should look out for this year?
All right, then, fantastic question there, Rufai. I mean, it's interesting when you think about everything that the Intra-Africa Trade Fair stands for. But of course, with the creation of CANEX, which means the Creative African Nexus, speaking with President Benedict Orama himself, he spoke about the fact that when he looks back at his legacy, even with the championing programs like the CANEX Short, the AU Short Startup Platform, increased access to funding, the fact that there's been a focus on intellectual property rights, it's giving creatives a space to be able to thrive. He speaks on the fact that CANEX in itself has been a catalyst for the African creative sector. And here is to hear from the horse's mouth exactly what his thoughts are about what CANEX has been able to achieve in the past couple of years. Let's take a look.
I don't even think it's, when we talk of advice, the leadership, the African country leadership, they have no choice in this matter. I think the youth have taken, they've taken their destiny in their hands, as it were. But, like every human being, the leadership are beginning to see money there. So even if they don't like it, the fact that it's beginning to make the economy tick, because it's beginning to create opportunities to collect more taxes, because it's beginning to create employment and reduce political problems, they are forced and bound to embrace it. And for us, our role at Afrexim Bank institutions like ours is to serve as the catalyst, to serve as opinion leaders in all of these things, to help shape the thought on how things will go. And because we're a financial institution, owned by Africans, controlled by Africans, we also use our resources to make sure we promote these things. And that's why we have a big CANEX program. We don't have to do a CANEX program, so to say. We're doing that. And in the process of doing that, we're taking the lead in trying to sort out the kind of things that our young people who are actually leading the way are not able to deal with. Access to finance, intellectual property, being able to produce content and own and control it so that over the years, they will continue to reap the benefits. So we feel that those things require certain kinds of support capital. We are in a position to provide that. Other institutions like ours, I believe, also can be in the position to do that. But we believe that unless we show the way, others will not follow. If we show the way and the people see that we are doing it and we're actually making money out of it, they will follow. And it becomes win-win for everybody. And that is what we are hoping for, that we use it to do those two things, make sure we restore the dignity of Africa.
Thank you very much, Boason, and our new international correspondent. I hope you guys enjoy your stay out there and that you keep us up to date throughout the day.